Addy soldiers. If you see one of these hanging out during the filming of this video, no you don't. Ooh, who doesn't need a second coffee and is drinking a second coffee? It's me! If you don't know me, hi, my name's Rachel. I'm a model who's read, and as you can tell from the shelves behind me, I've read a lot of books in my life, and I've been a professional book blogger for about 10 years, and back in my day, I entered the scene when BookTube loved a book tag. We had the burn, rewrite, reread tag, we had the pride flag book tag, we have the totally should've book tag, the playlist tag, the rip it or ship it tag. The people of BookTube collectively have kind of decided that the mid-year book freakout tag is the one that we've kept around, but everything else has kind of fallen to the wayside. So when I saw Sam over at Thoughts on Tombs doing a get to know my tastes reading tag, of course I had to jump right on it. Because believe it or not, there are still a couple of things about books that I haven't said on the internet. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and buckle in. Join me for my first book tag in a hot minute. It's the get to know my tastes tag. But before we get into the books, we need to talk about something that I also have a taste for, and that is beautiful jewelry. So it's very appropriate that one of my favorites, Ana Luisa, is sponsoring today's video. You've heard me talk about him before. Ana Luisa is a small, sustainable jewelry company that focuses on elegant, elevated, everyday basics that are hypoallergenic, water-resistant, and come in a ton of classic styles. I've been wearing their jewelry for a couple of years now, and in fact, some of the things I'm wearing today are things that I've had from them for years, and they look exactly as good as the day that I started wearing them. And this one on my middle finger is the rope twist ring in silver, and I wear this almost every day. Same thing with this current chain I have on, the Leo chain necklace in silver, and then this one is also from Ana Luisa, but I don't think they sell this set anymore, but still, I mean, like, come on. But they've also sent me a couple of new items to show off for all of you today that I'm very excited about, which are a bunch of beautiful rings. First up, we have the Iver anchor chain ring in silver, of course, my one and only. Taking the classic chain link and giving it a little twist, pun not intended. It's a sleek plated ring that dips brass in rhodium to give it that incredible shine. It's bold enough to style on its own, but it's sleek enough that will fit in perfectly with any stack. And then we also have the incredibly elegant Céline Eternity ring, once again in silver. Sterling silver and cubic zirconia give it an incredible sparkle. Yet again, it's perfectly shiny enough to stand on its own or seamlessly integrate into any jewelry stack. It's crafted out of recycled sterling silver, but if silver isn't your thing, it also comes in gold. I specifically asked for this one because I wanted something that was a little bit slimmer and sleeker that could fit in with my other like chunkier rings and not detract from them. But she's also kind of a showstopper, so I don't know if that theory is going to work out. And thirdly is the perfect addition to all the other heart-shaped jewelry that I've shown you from Ana Luisa before, and that is the Isla heart ring, yet again in silver. It's playful, it's subdued, it's statement-making, it's eye-catching. She really can do it all. Both adorable and bold. It's plated in rhodium for that incredible wet metal look. And as much as I love a dainty band, I love that this is a heart ring that has some weight to it. I'm also lucky enough that this fits on my pinky, and I think it's the cutest, just little chunky pinky ring. If any of these caught your eye like they did mine, you can head to the link in my description box that will lead you to analuisa.com, and you can use my code AModelWho'sRead. Thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video, and without further ado, let's get into the tag. Number one is, how do you rate books? I'm a simple gal. Okay, I use the Goodreads star system just like the next person does. Although I do much so prefer the StoryGraph ranking version where you get 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75 of a star. I think that's much more accurate. And if you're wondering, yes, you can follow me on both of those, links below. Now, I was recently talking about this with my girlfriend because we discovered that we rank things on the star system different than some other people that we know that rank things on the star system. She goes into a book already expecting to give it 5 stars, and her ranking goes down from 5, whereas one of her other friends starts at the book at 1 star, and the book has to like impress her as it builds up for her ranking. And for me, I am kind of like in the middle. I'm like, every book deserves 3 stars no matter what, and then based on if the book is, to me, good or not, then it'll go up and down. But I also very rarely give books 5 stars. One of my goals this year was to give more books 5 stars, and I don't know if I haven't been doing that because I'm slipping into old habits or if I just haven't been impressed. But if we're breaking it down, like 5 stars is, oh my god, so incredible. I can't believe this exists. It spoke to something in my deep, dark, rotted soul. I've never expected anything like this to be put into words. 5 stars. 4 stars is, this was so incredible. I thought it was a really solid book. Loved the characters, loved the world. I really appreciated the story. 3 is like, this is a good book. Like, this was fine. I had fun. I didn't actively hate anything. This is like chill. 2 stars is like, this was incredibly mid and it probably missed out on a lot of things that I was hoping for it, but like it still exists and you wrote the book, so I give you that level of respect. And then 1 star is Garbage Town. Why does this exist? Why did I spend my hard-earned money and use my precious time wasting away while reading this absolute piece of trash? But see, the thing is, I'm really good at DNFing things. So I don't often read 1 or 2 star books, because if I can feel that after like 50 pages, I'm not gonna like the book, I'll just DNF it. And so my rating, I think, is pretty high on both of my profiles, but that's only because I'm cheating the system. Number 2 is, what is my style of review? How do I analyze the thing that I've just read? I feel like I'm a bit of a chaotic neutral reviewer. As I'm a book blogger on a full-time and semi-professional basis, I always have a notes app open on my phone and where I take notes as I'm reading things, just so I can remember like themes or scenes I really liked or things that I can mention in my monthly wrap-ups. So I guess that's the structured part. But also, goddamn, do I love an emotion? Do I love a feeling? Do I love a vibe? An atmosphere even? Even if the book like wasn't well written or like it didn't do something for me that I wanted it to, if it has a good vibe, I'm still gonna rank it highly. When it comes to book blogging, no gods, no masters. I love throwing down a nitpicky, petty ass review, but I also just love vibing to like some really nice purple prose. Okay, that's my fatal flaw, sue me. Sometimes the English major is used for good, but most of the time it's used for evil. Number 3 is, what book made you a reader? And like I said before, I've been reading for at least 27 years of my life, which is kind of insane to think about. My parents read to me as a child, so if I'm thinking about childhood, my favorite books were like the Little Golden books or like Rainbow Fish. Oh my gosh, give it up for Rainbow Fish. But also, I was and still am a huge horse girl, and so I actually have some of my original childhood favorites with me. Animal Archetype, Rise Up. This was my absolute favorite book when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Or like the Unicorn Secret chapter books, Moon Silver. This was my favorite thing to read. Give me this type of cover on the epic fantasy books of today. My god, these are so stunning. Number 4 is, do you have a genre niche? Yes. We got fantasy, we got queer fantasy, we got dark fantasy, we got queer dark fantasy, we got dark romantasy, we got regular romantasy, we got queer romantasy, we got queer dark romantasy, and then a little sprinkle of like space gaze and some adorable queer rom-coms, and there's like the teeniest bit of YA still. What can I say? I have a type. I am starting to get more into nonfiction again, although I did cancel my Audible subscription at the beginning of the year, and so my nonfiction for this year is lacking because I prefer to listen to nonfiction. And I like exploring new genres and types of media and such, but I do still have my favorites. And, you know, if anyone out there is like yelling that like I should be reading something else, I mean, you all are here for a reason. So I think that says more about you. Number 5 is, do you typically prefer character-driven stories or plot-driven stories? And to that, I say yes. Me and my fantasy-loving soul are leaning a bit heavier on the plot driven side of things, but you know, as I get older and I'm a more distinguished lady in my 30s now, I have been enjoying some more character driven plots lately. I've been reading more romance in the last couple of years, and so that is more character based, whereas my love of fantasy I think is still mostly plot and world. Number 6 is, what is a book that you love so much that you don't care if other people don't like it? This apparently, according to Goodreads, is a hotly contested book because it is one of my favorite books of 2024, and yet it is sitting, I think, at like under 3 stars. But you know what? It's okay, because I love this book enough for everybody, and it's The Hunter's Gambit by C.L. Perlow. A high-stakes, no pun intended, escape room vampire fantasy novel where our main character Kazan, who is a blacksmith for silver weaponry, gets kidnapped by vampires and is given 3 days to escape this grand castle before they eat her in a magical ritual, and she has to figure out a way to escape while also having an affair with 2 very sexy vampires. It's bloody, it's gory, it'll keep your heart pounding to the very last page. It is a tale of survival, of sadism, and seduction. When I looked as to why people didn't like it, a lot of people said they hated Kazan, and that's exactly why this book stands out for me. Kazan is absolutely horrible. She's a total bitch. She doesn't care about anyone else's feelings. She's like, why would I let morals and ethics stand in the way of getting what I want? That's stupid. And while yes, as the book goes on, you know, she does grow a bit of a conscience and learn to think about other people, I love the fact that she is selfish and she's not a good person. So if you didn't like this book, That's fine. You know, we'll eat the Vampire King without you. God, the sun is back. God, the lighting in this video is gonna be whack. I just know it. Number 7 is similar, and that is, what is a book that you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know that your reading tastes don't align? If any one of you ever said that Samantha Shannon is a mid author, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work. Priory of the Orange Tree, Day of Fallen Night, Bone Season series are all 10s across the board. I literally have a dragon tattoo from A Day of Fallen Night that I got before I had even finished the novel. I love her works so damn much. Both Priory of the Orange Tree and The Bone Season, I think, are really good testers to see if my reading style meshes well with someone else's, because the foundations of those books are why I love them. It is a high fantasy secondary world. There's tons of world building. It's a diverse world. It's all female main characters. It's all particularly queer female main characters. It's a slow burn story with lots of action and a little romance, but not a ton. So if someone says, oh, the world was lame, or like it wasn't fast enough, or it wasn't smutty enough, swipe left. And The Bone Season, it's super weird and you have to use your brain a lot. And so if someone says to me it was boring, or like I just didn't get it, I'm like, well, I guess you aren't as cerebral as me. I say, full well forgetting I had 2 entire meetings today and also having to look up the word cerebral before I said that joke. And especially Priory, I mean, she's a big girl. And you know what that says to me? That says to me that you're willing to follow through on your commitments. Number 8 is, what's in your trash pocket, aka the books, tropes, and themes that you know are bad, but you love anyways. I guess my most toxic trait is that I love an enemies to lovers story. Like, I love a knife under the throat. I love a, we almost killed each other and now we have to work together, and oh hey, we're falling in love. And like, I don't know what that says about me, particularly because my girlfriend, who I love very much, I mean, we had our own friends to lovers trope. There's no enemies in sight. Do I even have a rival? Even if I did, it's too late now. I'm in a committed relationship. Power dynamics, just, they're so delicious. But I'm also in the camp that there is no such thing as like a bad trope, because you can always twist it and work with it and work it into your narrative in a way that is subversive. But then also, where's the line between like bad trope and bad writing? Because like, if you're gonna do a tragic backstory, but then you only ever hint at it and you never actually write it, I'm like, that's just bad writing. That's not like a bad trope. Number 9 is, do you have any deal breakers with books? What is something that as soon as you read it, you can't continue? This is very silly, but if I see a book with a first-person synopsis, I will not read it. I think I talked about this in my hot takes video, or maybe my bookish pet peeves video, but if a synopsis is like, I've been on the run for so long, but finally I've stopped and I've run into him. He's unlike anyone I've ever seen before, and he awakens a fire inside of me. And the two of us, I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Because this voice is usually used for contemporary new adult romances, and to me, it sounds so juvenile. Because I know later in the book, you are going to be getting railed in a sundress in explicit and excruciating detail, and I'm gonna have to read this synopsis as like, and his limpid eyes were like pools of jade. I'm like, girl, just grow up, or go back to school, or therapy, or just something. Number 10 is where I truly get to shine, and it's to talk about a book that you have a strong opinion about that was released within the last year. It can be underrated, overrated, or just something that you have to talk about. A book that came out last year that I freaking loved, that did not get the flowers that it deserved, was Dreadful by Caitlin Rosakis. Why is nobody talking about this? This is a comedic fantasy about Gav, who is just a guy who wakes up in the middle of this evil lord's castle with no memory of who he is or how he got there, but then it turns out that he is the Dread Lord Gavrax, who was doing this dreaded spell, and it accidentally backfired, and now he has no memory of who he is or what his evil plans were, and he has to kind of just go along with it and like fake it till he makes it amongst the other evil lords and like the goblins of his castle. And because he has no memory, he's looking upon his life with fresh eyes, like, oh my god, did I really mistreat my staff like that? Who was I? Was I a misogynist? Oh my god, why is there so much red velvet in here? God, it's so tacky. It's such a fun, heartwarming story about Gav rediscovering who he is and who he wants to be, while simultaneously having to own up and take responsibility for his actions and actively work to make his friendships and his relationships better. We're breaking down tropes, we're rediscovering oneself, and, you know, we're gaining friendship and family in a new and unexpected way. This was such a delight. Number 11 is, what do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Above a good concept, above world building, above some fun character descriptions, it's all about the prose for me. I love a overly written, beautiful, metaphorical, lyrical, poetical book. Some of my favorite books are The Starless Sea Plotline, where is she? Who knows? I don't care, because the way that it's told is so beautiful and lyrical. Same thing with Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Just the story, the cadence of it, it really draws you in. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Like those twists of prose that are always a little different than you think they're going to be. Voice is very subjective per story, and like I love some structure, but it doesn't need to always have structure, hence Starless Sea. Number 12 is, how do you decide what to read next? Are you a mood reader or do you follow a plan? Definitely on the mood reader side of the board. Sometimes because of book blogging, if I'm like on a deadline for like a sponsored video or like a blog tour or something, then obviously those things will take precedent. But for the most part, I just go over to my TBR bookcase and I just give it the stare down and I see what jumps out to me. If I look at a stack and I'm not excited about it, I'm not going to read it. So I need to look at something and go, what am I excited about right now? Number 13 is, where do you get inspiration for BookTube content? Is it from other creators? Is it from personal experiences? I feel like this isn't groundbreaking, but like kind of everything, right? Because I mean, hello, welcome. This is a tag that I saw someone else do and then decided to also do it. So sometimes I do get my ideas from other creators. Sometimes it is trends. Sometimes it's just like a thing I want to talk about, because I also have a lot of people in my life that are involved in the bookish space, but not the same bookish space. Sometimes I'll jump on a trend that other people are doing. Sometimes I want to talk about a trend that I personally notice. And sometimes I just want to have fun, and I'm going to film a video of what I think is going to be fun and silly and stupid. And then other people sometimes like it. My main platform is TikTok, and I think the copy-paste attitude of that has also come to BookTube as well. But that's also, I just think that's something that's natural. Like everyone wants to talk about something that came out at one time, or everyone wants to use a certain sound because they have their own idea of what to use it for. And that's kind of what all content is, right? It's taking something that you see someone else do and putting your own twist on it. Number 14 is, if you could make any book go viral right now, which one would it be and why? Because I'm an overachiever, I have two. Look, we got the two sides of my personality: space gaze and sapphic vampires. August Kitco and the Mechas from Space by Alex White is one of the best books I've ever read. Something has not touched me this emotionally in a very long time. There's a giant army of alien mechbots that are destroying planets across the universe, but a small traitor vanguard of rebels comes to Earth and asks for Earth's help, and our main characters are two people that get swept up in that. Gus, who is a concert pianist, and Ardent, who is the hottest rock star of the galaxy. It is all about humanity and sacrifice and music. It is so beautiful and touching, and yet also it's funny as hell. It's queer, it's heartfelt, it's action-packed, it's absolutely devastating. A chaotic space opera that goes into what makes us human and why we're all worth saving. And it was so, so beautiful. And second are my delightfully sapphic vampires from A Long Time Dead by Samara Breger. I know this is starting to get more recognition, but like everyone should have it on their shelf. Again, a beautiful, heartwarming queer story, this time following Poppy, who is a sex worker who gets turned into a vampire, and Roisin, who is the vampire that takes care of her and like teaches her to vampire, and then their relationship over the centuries as Poppy both mourns the loss of mortality and Roisin is working through her shit and her past trauma with her vampire sire, and the two of them learning to heal and to love together. And be warned, because you're gonna pick this up like, ooh, body jokes, haha, vampire shenanigans, and then you are gonna get smacked across the face with these beautiful, incredible descriptions of like what it means to long and to love and to suffer, and it's just so beautiful. And last but certainly not least, number 15, who are some booktubers with similar reading tastes to yours? It's these people. All these people. Yep, go check them out. I'll link them all down below. And that's that on that. That was the Get to Know My Tastes tag by Thoughts on Tomes. I hope very much that this will spark a renewal of book talk tags, because they're fun. Now I'm assuming, because not only did you watch this video in its entirety if you've gotten to this point, but if you follow me at all, you probably have similar reading tastes to me. But please leave your favorite questions and the responses to them down below. And if you have any recommendations for things that match all of my tastes, please also leave those down below. Thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. You can check out the link down below if you would like to get yourself some beautiful, elegant, sustainable jewelry. I will link everything that I'm wearing down below, and make sure to use my code when you shop. Believe it or not, I still have coffee in this and the sun is still out. So that's unexpected, but nice. Earlier in the day it was cloudy and humid and gross, and now that it is much nicer outside, I think I'm gonna spend my evening reading on my porch, because June, so busy. and so many book events. It was great, lots of book stuff, but I have slipped really behind in my reading goal. I don't want to talk about it, but I just started a new book and I really want to continue reading it. So I think that's going to be on my agenda tonight. Giving myself a night off? What is this? Fair workers' compensation? You know where to click to like the video. You know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!